This week's Parsha, Parshas Vayigash, Yosef famously reveals himself to his brothers, saying, Ani Yosef ha'od avichai. I am Yosef, is my father still alive? The Meforshim, the commentators ask, why does Yosef have to inquire of the brothers as to whether or not his father Yaakov is alive? Yehuda has just spent the last number of psukim talking about the need for Binyamin to return to Eretz Yisrael, to return to Eretz Canaan, and to be with his father, because nafsho kishura v'nafsho, their souls, as it were, are tied together. Beis Halevi attempts to answer this question by quoting the following medrash. The medrash Rava Parshat Tzadi Gimel Os Yod says as follows: Abba Kohen Bardila Amar. Abba Kohen Bardila says, Aylanu miyom hadin, aylanu miyom hatochacha. Woe unto us for the day of judgment, woe unto us for the day of rebuke. Bilam chacham shel ovdei kochavim, lo yachol lamo b'tochacha shel asono. Bilam was the great sorcerer, the great wise man amongst the non-Jewish nations, and he was silenced by the rebuke of his donkey. Yosef Ketana shel shvatim haya. Joseph was the youngest of the tribes, and the brothers were confounded when he revealed himself to them. What does this mean? Yehuda had just spent, as we mentioned, 15, 16 psukim talking about the need for Binyamin to return to his father. Their souls are tied together. His father will die without them. How could you, Yosef, he didn't know it was Yosef, how can you, Egyptian ruler, take my brother away? Don't you have mercy for my father, my old father? And Yosef turns to Yehuda and says, really, Yehuda? Is that true? I'm Yosef. Did my father live without me? Didn't my father love me? How can you say that your father Yaakov will die without Binyamin? You took away me, and my father managed to survive. That was the rebuke that Yosef leveled against Yehuda. And it, in fact, stuns the Shvatim. It stuns the brothers. Only in the next pasuk does Yosef bring them close and says, Ani Yosef, right? I am Yosef, I'm your brother. Hashem sent me here to prepare the way for you. Then he talks to them with words of kindness, with words of love. But his first statement, his first revelation, is one of rebuke, and one that completely confounds the brothers. And if Yosef, the youngest of the brothers, can confound and silence his elder brothers, how much more so will God, when he rebukes all of us, confound all of us? Beis Halevi explains that rebuke will consist not just of saying you did wrong, you did this wrong, you did that wrong. No, it's what's going to consist of is a demonstration of our hypocrisy. That just like Yehuda was not concerned of the death of his father when he sold Yosef, so too Hashem will look at each of us and say, how can you complain that, the example that the Beis Halevi uses, how can you complain that you didn't have money to give tzedakah? How can you complain that you didn't have money for kosher food, for Jewish education, whatever it might be? You spent money on X, Y, and Z. You spent money on all these other things, and that hypocrisy, when demonstrated by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, will in fact silence each one of us. I think the Medrash is making one more point. For the past number of months or year, however long it's been, since the brothers first go to Egypt, Yaakov and his sons have been living in a strange world. All sorts of crazy things are happening that they don't understand. What was a peaceful family is all of a sudden shaken. Shimon is taken away by a mysterious man in Egypt. Why is this happening? And they've been living under this cloud for months, perhaps for a year. And all it takes to clear that up is two words from Yosef, Ani Yosef. At that moment, when Yosef reveals himself to his brothers, it sheds light and clarity on the entire few months, right? Everything that they were confused about, everything that they didn't understand, all of a sudden comes into focus, and they now look back and see, this is why all of those things happened. This is why Shimon was taken from us, right? This is why Binyamin was forced to come down. And so too, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so too with Hashem. We're living in hard times. It's hard for us to understand why things are happening. But all it will take in the future is for Hashem to say one word, two words to us, and everything that we've gone through, all the troubles and tribulations that we've experienced over the past few months will become clear. Good Shabbos.